The absorption rate dropped to its lowest level since we started tracking weekly last March this week. So does that mean the market is cooling? The data this week is pretty telling, so let's jump into it. Thank you for taking a few minutes to join us for our real-time market insights into our local housing market. We cover Kendall, DuPage, Will, and Kane counties in our market report. My name is Scott Parker. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at John Green Realtor, and I'll be presenting our findings for this week. So our main two discussion points, again, we've been talking a lot this last year about the new normal. So is the market now normal? And then lowest absorption rates since we have tracked the data going all the way back to last March. So what does that mean for buyers and sellers? Well, let's get into it. First is new listings across the 4 counties that we're tracking. And last week we had a dip, which we attributed to spring break. This week we actually saw a nice rebound, and it was the highest new listings week we've seen this year. So that was a really good sign. But if you contrast that against the normalized benchmark from the light green line, which is 2019, you can see how far off we are in new listings coming to market that we typically see this time of year. Here's under contract, and you can see inside the circle there in 2019, which is our normal baseline, you can see an increase in contract activity as we start to hit that peak spring buying season in our market right about now, mid-April. But you'll notice a week-over-week dip this year. So not huge, but as you will see in the absorption rate data in a bit, slight trends like this can really make an impact. Here's off-market activity, which represents listings that decide to come off the market without successfully selling. And this year, the story is that they've been really remarkable in terms of consistency. And you can see things starting to normalize last year in the data as we started to embrace and figure out what was going on. And then you'll see in the upcoming weeks, the rebound was pretty furious and pretty fast. So it's pretty interesting to watch that play out. So absorption rate, under contract versus new listings. So this is the lowest number we've had since last March. So this is just benchmarking how many homes came onto the market versus how many go off to give us a feel for how quickly the market is moving. Typically see this number at about 60%. So that it came down to 74% is a very interesting tell on the market. Here we add in off market so you can see the total number of listings relative to the total number leaving. And you can see the explosion last year. And it kind of peaked out in the 4th week of March, and then it started to rebound. This year, you'll see last week we had a big increase, but we had a huge decrease this year. So if you basically take in summary these last 2 graphs, a lot of people are going to imply that maybe things are evening and getting back to a more balanced market activity. But then we have this chart. And this is the real-time showings graph. And this is exactly why we like to look at forward-looking indicators, because even though everything seemed to insinuate maybe some normalizing, you see this graph. Our agents indicated that this weekend was crazy busy with showing activity as many people settle back in from spring break and are getting back into the flow of searching for a home. What this indicates to us is that there is a ton of buyer demand in the pipeline. And if we're going to see any return to a more normalized market, we're going to need to continue to see a big boom in new listings coming to the market at this point. We just haven't seen that yet. I added a few national slides for some context. And first off, here's data from National Association of Realtors on average number of offers per listing. And you can see all over the country, it has really skyrocketed. Here's year over year change in inventory by state. And you can see the entire country, with the exceptions of New York and Hawaii, are all experiencing a major shortfall in new listings hitting the market versus previous years. And that's what's leading to this red hot market all across the country. So to recap, absorption rates normalizing, which was a great sign, but that showing activity spike is still an indication that there are a ton of buyers out there whom are still looking for the right property. A little bit of a broken record, but if you're thinking about selling, now really is the time. Thanks as always for joining us, and we'll see you next week. And we just want to mention that you can sign up for free for these market reports in your inbox if you just go to jgrmarketinsights.com. And we also have a proprietary tool called a buyer market analysis that, in conjunction with Zillow and Realtor.com, we can not only show you what your home is worth, but we can also show you exactly how many people are looking for a home just like yours online. It's pretty cool, really neat insight. So if you like a free buyer market analysis on your home, head over to homevalue.johngreenrealtor.com. Both links are in the body here. You can click on them. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.